Hello, and welcome to ASMR Ghost Stories. If you enjoy getting just a little scared, welcome to my channel. But today, it's going to be a little bit different. Today is an About Me video. Questions and answers. So, stick around. Because I'll just tell you a little bit about myself without revealing too much, because I really do believe anonymity is still the key in a world where everybody reveals everything. I kind of just want to, let you get to know me and but still remain anonymous at the same time. So how did I get into ASMR? My first experience that I can remember is I was a little girl in school and another girl was sitting beside me. We were in like a reading group and we were supposed to be reading to ourselves, but she was not quite whispering, not quite talking, but it was all the little mouth sounds, and I was like, what is that? I love it. And I didn't want her to stop, but I just kind of inched my way closer to her. So that was my first experience. And then my mom used to like rub my back with her fingernails, but it was like a tickle. And I had really long hair when I was little at one point, and my sisters and I would take turns brushing each other's hair, but it wasn't like brushing the hair, it was like brushing the hair down the back. I loved that. So that was my first experience. And then I've always loved scary movies. I love scary books. I love all of that where you question life, death, the paranormal, what is it, all that. I've always been fascinated by that, and I've always liked being just a little bit scared. My family thinks it's weird, but I love it. So, where is your favorite place to go on vacation? If I were to decide if it's here in America, then I love to go to the mountains, anywhere in the mountains. I love to sit out on a balcony and look over the tops of the mountains in the distance. It's really relaxing and makes you feel kind of small at the same time, and I love the fresh air, clean air, stuff like that. How many countries have you been to? Well, I've been to Canada a long time ago. Been to Italy once, Austria 3 times, Switzerland, Germany twice, Ireland. I've been to Ireland once, but I've been to the airport several times. I've been to England 3 or 4 times, and I've been to Scotland about 10, which is my favorite. That I'll have to get into one day. That's the most amazing place to be. What is your favorite TV show? I have a lot. My husband and I are currently re-watching Outlander. It's not, I like it. It's not my favorite. I really liked Sons of Anarchy. I really liked Peaky Blinders. I really, really wanted to like American Horror Story, but it got too gross and disturbing. I was like, forget this. I'm not doing this show. Have you ever met a celebrity? Yes. And another little thing about myself, I am an interpreter, a sign language interpreter, actually. And I've interpreted many concerts. And my favorite concert I've ever interpreted it was for Eddie Vedder, and it wasn't Pearl Jam, but it was when he promoted the movie Into the Wild. He did the soundtrack, and so I got to interpret his concert, and he came up to me and gave me his guitar pick, and I had the hugest, is that even a word? The biggest crush on him in the 90s. Oh my gosh. I was really into long hair on guys. I still think it's pretty hot. Even though my husband's completely bald. He shaves his head bald. I've never seen him. We've been together now many years, and I've never seen him with hair. So I do like the bald head too. Who is your favorite actor? Oh gosh, I really like Tom Hardy because he can play a whole lot of characters. And there's another guy, I can't think of his name. He's not as well known. He was in Let There Be Blood, or with Daniel Day-Lewis. It was the skinny guy. I can't think of his name. It may come to me. If it does, I'll shout it out later, I guess. Let's see. What's the last movie you cried to? Well, if I really, honestly am feeling emotional and I really need to cry, I just watch P.S. I Love You. Makes me bawl every single time. What's the worst movie you've ever seen? I remember as a teenager, I walked out on, I think it was called What Becomes Her, or something with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn and Bruce Willis. I thought, this is trash. And I walked out. I normally don't walk out, but I did. Let's see. Do you enjoy roller coasters? Absolutely. Which sport do you like most? Gymnastics. Have you ever cheated? Absolutely not. That's a whole different story I won't even get into, but when you have experienced it in your life, it's the worst feeling. And so I personally don't want to ever, I'm very black and white. I'm very honest. And so no, I will not do that. What's my biggest fear? Oh yeah, this is one I've gone to therapy over. So you'll have to excuse me, but it's called emetophobia. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that word, but it is the fear of vomit. I'm terrified of vomit. The fight or flight kicks in, and I've known it my entire life. I don't know where it comes from, why, but yeah, anytime there's vomit, I run. I was like, you can have a bone sticking out of your leg, and I'm like, oh gosh, let me see that. Coffee or tea? Coffee. If you could have dinner with anyone alive, who would it be? Oh gosh. Eddie Vedder, why not? It would be interesting. If you could have dinner with anyone dead, who would it be? That's easy for me. I think a lot of people normally would say somebody famous, but my best friend died when I was 9, and so it's been, of course, many, many years ago, and I still, it's one of those where I never got to say goodbye. And I was telling my son, I said, I forgot what she sounded like. I forgot her voice, what it was like, and I would love to have dinner with her and just tell her about, my life, and hear her voice again, believe it or not. That would be amazing. What was your best subject in school? French. What's your hidden talent? I like to craft. I like to knit and crochet. Who can you tell everything to? My husband. Let's see, would you rather be able to fly or be invisible? Be invisible, are you kidding? That's so funny. What is the best part about being your age? I think it's the wisdom. I kind of wish I could take what I know now and go back to when I was 20 and be a little bit more wise in my decisions. That's for sure. What is the best thing about where you live? I live in the South in America, and I love the Four Seasons. I love to experience everything about it. I love the friendly people, and I feel like everybody is genuinely nice, and it's nice because when you go outside of this area, you realize that everybody's different, which is fine. I accept the differences, but I miss the welcoming, atmosphere, if you will. When is the last time you went to the hospital? Well, I avoid them as much as I can. But I had, about 10 years ago, I had 4 brain surgeries, and it's been a year of recovery. So I avoid them if I can. I'm not a fan, but it is what it is. What is your favorite drink? Well, if it's alcoholic, then I like a really good Guinness. But I also really like a really nice red wine. I like more dry than anything. But I do love my coffee. Do you like cold or warm weather better? I personally like it when it's cold because I can bundle up. When it's warm or hot, you can't undress down to your skivvies. So I like to bundle up, and then if I get hot like that, I can just take off a layer. I prefer being in the cold weather. What is your favorite dessert? Honestly, I love a really good old-fashioned chocolate cake with a big old glass of cold milk. Yeah, it's so good. What is your favorite band? Oh gosh, I've got a lot. But if I had to choose for the sound, I really like Little Feat. The album is Waiting on Columbus, or Waiting for Columbus. But the 2 of my favorite songs on that album, and you've got to listen to it, it's a live performance and it's amazing. But it's Dixie Chicken and Fat Man in the Bathtub. Which movie can you watch over and over again? The Sound of Music. That was my favorite movie growing up. I just wanted to be in Austria. I wanted to, dance and sing like Fräulein Maria because the hills were alive with music. What gets you emotional? Anything to do with animals. I get all like the warm and fuzzies when you see a little puppy, and then, or my heart goes out to them when, an animal's been abused, that sort of thing. That gets me really emotional. How would your parents describe you? My parents always said I was a happy child. I was the last born for a while until my sister was born. And I loved being with my sisters. I loved playing. I was a happy-go-lucky child. What was the last concert you attended? The last one I attended and not interpreted was Pearl Jam. And we were right down front, and it was so much fun. Do you like to celebrate your birthday? I do, actually. I like, when we were growing up, we got to pick our favorite meal, and we ate our favorite meal, and I still do that. My favorite meal is fondue, because I remember as a child I always liked to talk. I still like to talk, and it takes a while to eat fondue, and everybody sat around and laughed and talked, and nobody was rushing because you can't rush. And we'd spend so much time, and it was so much fun. And every year for my birthday, I always have fondue. Do you like the city or the country more? The country. I like to also, 'cause I have to drive the interstate if I have to drive it. But if I can, I prefer driving the back roads. I like to get lost, and I like to see where the road takes me. What is your favorite genre of movies? Horror, but not necessarily thrasher, blood and guts. Nah. Now, when my husband and I got married, every year we'd go see the Saw movies. That was alright because we're married near Halloween, and we used to go see the Saw movies on our anniversary. Yeah, it was so much fun. What is the best thing to do on a hot summer day? Be in the air conditioning. Do you have a sweet tooth? I like sweets. I like them a lot. But if I had the choice between sweet and savory, I personally would rather have something spicy. Like spicy chicken wings. Like buffalo. I love to make like buffalo cauliflower, stuff like that. What is my favorite color? Red. Do you like the indoors or outdoors better? Depending on the weather, I really like to be outside. What's one thing you could not live without? Yarn. I love to crochet. What cuisine is your favorite? Oh, I love Italian, like anything Italian. Are you a quiet person? No. I think it depends on the situation, but when I'm around people I know, I'm right in the middle of everything. I like to dance. I like to, just laugh and just have a great time. So, no, I'm not quiet at all. What is your favorite song? Oh gosh, there's so many. If I want to embarrass my son, I sing Here's My Strut. Doot to do. It's Thumpasaurus. You gotta look him up. It's just a real catchy song, but it goes like, here's my strut, doot to do. Just so funny. And my son gets really embarrassed, but I love it. I guess when I think of my son as a baby, I used to dance with him a lot, and my favorite song was Return to Pooh Corner by Kenny Loggins. Sang that to him every night, and I can still hear that song, and it just takes me back to when he was a baby, because now he's a teen, so he's not a baby anymore. Cats or dogs? Dogs. Beer or wine? Oh gosh. Wine. Apartment or house? House. Lake or ocean? Ocean. Mountains or jungle? Mountains. How tall are you? About 5'5". Not very tall. Who is your role model? Oh my gosh, probably my sisters. Very close with them. We're stair-stepped in age. Like, my one sister's just 11 months older than I am, and we're like the Irish twins. But I'm very close with my sisters, and I've always looked up to them. So, and when they set their mind out, to do something, they do, and I love that about them. What's your best quality? If you ask my sister, my oldest sister, she is into, what's it called? I just lost the word. It's not ancestry. It's like astrological signs, horoscope. I can't even think of the word, but I am a Cancer. Cancer moon, but my Aries is rising. I get a little confused with a lot of it, but she said one of my best qualities, which is the Aries rising, which isn't my astrological sign, but it has something to do with my personality, is I am very much a go-getter and take charge. And when I have something on my mind, I'm like, let's do it, let's go. And she's like, you're just stubborn because you won't stop until you can get it done. And I think it has good things and bad things about that. I don't know. I think it's good, because if I like something, I'm going to go for it. And if I don't, I put the brakes on. So I think that is, and I think, I'm able to get things done when I put my mind to it. And if I really like it, I'm putting my mind to it and I go for it big time. But I am a Capricorn, which I'm very, from what I know about the sign, I'm quite stubborn but loyal. I think that's what it is. I'm not too sure. What is your favorite holiday? I like the season of Christmas because it's not just one day. I love everything about driving out and looking at the lights. I love, walking outside and it's cold and you're bundled up. I love watching Christmas movies. I love baking. I love being with, family and friends and just, it's a whole season. It's not just a day. But if I have my favorite season, I love the fall, because where I am in the South, it starts to be less humid and the days unfortunately do get shorter, but I spend as much time as I can outside, and I love to hike and take long walks when the leaves are changing. Now, you're not going to find me taking long walks in the summertime because I'm just not about sweating. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't like to sweat. I do go out and walk, but I don't like to sweat. I hate that feeling. So in the fall, it has a certain smell, or it has the leaves that crunch under your feet. So that, I do like that. Do you like hot dogs or hamburgers? Hamburgers, but the best hot dogs I ever had, and I thought it was just a myth, but I used to visit Manhattan quite a bit because both my sisters lived in the area, and it's when you could fly up there for nothing. But I would start on one block, and the blocks are about a mile long, and I'd get a hot dog, and then by the time I finished it and I was ready at the next block to get the next hot dog and the next, they were so good. And my brother-in-law is from there, and he said the reason they taste so good is because they don't ever clean the water. So you're eating hot dogs that have been cooked in the same water. They just keep replenishing the water. Probably you're eating like 50-year-old water. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Don't quote me. What is your favorite feature about yourself? I love the color of my eyes. I have hazel green eyes, and all my sisters have blue. My mom has brown, but my dad has green. They have the exact same green eyes, and I think they're just really, really pretty. That's I think my best feature. And I think another thing is, like, I have short hair, and I cut my own hair because of what I was stating previously about brain surgeries. My head's really sensitive. So I cut my own hair, and I try and I do like faux hawks, and I used to shave the sides all the way down and have the top long. I've tried all kinds of different short hairstyles, but I think it goes with my eyes, if you will, because I don't dye my hair, so it's salt and pepper, I guess. And they complement each other. Who was your celebrity crush growing up? Well, growing up, I mean, it changed all the time, but one of my biggest celebrity crushes when I was younger was Donnie Wahlberg from New Kids on the Block. I was totally infatuated with him. Oh my gosh. When was your first kiss? Oh, good Lord. I went on a hayride with a group of people at Halloween, and we all played hide and seek, I think afterwards or during or whatever, and I went with a foreign exchange student off to hide somewhere, and he kissed me. And I thought, well, that's weird. But it was, yeah, weird. Do you believe in ghosts? Absolutely. Would you live on Mars if you had the chance? Nope. If you could watch one movie for the rest of your life, what would it be? Other than The Sound of Music, it'd probably be Braveheart. What food can't you stand? Oysters. Ugh, so gross. Are you religious? I'm spiritual. I think because of where I am, it's what we would consider the Bible Belt. And I feel like people are quote unquote religious here in a way because it's kind of like the standard. It's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to church on Sundays, or you're supposed to go to Bible study on Wednesdays. And I grew up in the church, and I have no problem with that at all. But I feel like people have lost a lot of the spiritualism, as in what draws you to go to a church on Sunday, or what draws you to, is say if it's Christianity, do you read the Bible? Do you have a relationship with what you are believing in? Like, I have a hard time understanding a lot of it. It's not that I'm against it, because I have a lot of questions. Like, everything that I believe in, say the paranormal, goes against what is kind of sort of in the Bible, I think. So, am I religious? No, but I think I'm spiritual, if that makes sense. What is the least favorite thing about the country you live in? I'd say, especially in the past few years, all the political upheaval, which I don't get involved in. From a outside standpoint, looking at everyone that's going through stuff, I see where it's tearing people and family, friends apart, and it makes me sad. So, but other than that, I love America. I really do. What is your most embarrassing moment as a kid? My first day in second grade at a brand new school. I'm the new kid out at recess, and I go up one of the big, huge metal slides, and I slide down before I realize there's this big, huge mud puddle at the very bottom of the slide. So I slid through it. It looked like I had some major poopy problems that day. I'm so embarrassed and just mortified being the new kid, and everybody laughed at me thinking I pooped my pants, but it was just mud. Do you have any tattoos? I have two. They're both travel related, and one of them I got when I was in Edinburgh, Scotland, and it's of a Highland cow, and I just love it. What is your nickname? My mom used to call me Nout. She liked to make up names. She called me Rubadoo, and my dad called me Bushka, which I think I later found out it meant grandma, and he called me that my entire childhood. Other than that, I don't know of any other childhood nicknames. Who was your favorite teacher in high school? I would say her name was Miss Easton, and she was my French teacher. I took French the 4 years of high school and took it in college, clipped out of the first few years so because I always wanted to be a translator. I just didn't realize that I wouldn't go into like the French translating profession, but went into the sign language interpreting profession. So I am a translator, just not in French. Which of your parents do you resemble? My mom thinks I look like her, but I favor my dad's side of the family the most. When I see, like he had his passport picture done when he was about 17, and we just look so much alike. We have the same hand shape. We have like the same teeth. We have the same moles. Like he has one on his arm and I have the exact same one on my arm in the same place. Now he's left-handed, I'm right-handed. That's about the only difference. Like we had the same hair color, eye color, body shape. Everybody laughed when they'd walk behind us because we walked the same. Like my mom thinks I look like her, but I really do think I look like my dad. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? Well, there's two that are my favorite, and it's the only kind that I ever get and always got when I was a child. Growing up, we'd go to Baskin and Robbins, but it's the green mint chocolate chip and chocolate peanut butter. They're the best. Which is your favorite perfume? My favorite is what my mom wears. I don't wear perfume. I don't know why, I just don't. But she went to Charleston, South Carolina one time and went into this perfume store, and the lady told her to pick out some fragrances, just kind of smell around what fragrances, like pick 3. And there were these oils, and my mom picked the kind she likes. The lady mixed them and gave it to her, and my mom's been ordering from that same shop. This has been 30 plus years, and it's the only smell, when I smell it, it's my mom. You know, it's a unique smell, and I love it. Do you have pets, and what is the name of your pet? I have 2 dogs, a small one named Angus and a big one named Duke. Have you ever been out of the country? Yes. Which mode of travel do you prefer? I guess if I'm out of the country, I like to rent my own car because I like to do everything on my time. So I rent cars. Like some of the best times that I ever had was I rented a car in England and drove up to Scotland and back down, drove over 1,000 miles. And I've driven in Scotland and Ireland, so it was really interesting the first time I did it, being on the opposite side of the car, on the opposite side of the road with a stick shift, gear shift. And you really have to pay attention. And then one time I flew to Austria and rented a car and drove through Austria by myself, and there was parts of me that was really hoping I didn't get into any problems like a wreck or my car broke down or anything like that, because I don't speak German. So, but those were just the best. I love train travel. I do not and will not ever want to go on a cruise. No, thank you. I don't do boats. I don't mind doing a ferry because they're short and I can still see land. But if it's on a cruise, forget it. I'm not going. Goodbye. No. What is the first thing you notice about people? Their eyes. I think maybe even how they stand or how they move through a room, because you can really tell a lot. It starts, I think, with the eyes. When people smile or laugh, are they laughing with their eyes? Are they smiling with their eyes? You can tell when it's a genuine smile or not. How they carry themselves. Are they slouched? Do they walk with confidence? Like, you can really just tell in body language. And as an interpreter, I pick up on a lot of non-verbal, if you will, cues, because it's important in the language. But yeah, I think their eyes more than anything. What is the idea of the perfect date? I like to go on progressive dinners with my husband. I like to start out, and because there's a certain town that I love that it just has a really unique look to it, and I just absolutely love it. So a lot of times we'll start out and go get a drink, and then we'll go to another place and have an appetizer. Then we'll go somewhere else and have dinner, and then go somewhere else and have dessert. That's just if we still have enough room in our bellies, because you try and eat light, maybe share a meal, that sort of thing, but it extends the night. It's kind of like my fondue. It extends the night, and you get more time together, and you have new experiences, try new foods, like that. Do you assess yourself as a good cook, and are you a good cook? When I was growing up, we were not allowed in the kitchen, so I knew nothing about cooking. My husband is a chef, so when we were dating, we used to have cooking night. We'd turn on 80s music, get a bottle of wine, put on our aprons. I'd pick out 2 recipes, something for dinner and a dessert, and we'd spend the evening cooking. But he literally had to start with, this is how you boil water. I mean, it was that extreme, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing in a kitchen. So now, fast forward all these years later, and I think I'm pretty good. I still have to follow a recipe. I'm not confident to try and figure out on my own. He knows what flavors and stuff go together, and I'm still like, okay, I know when I'm cooking Italian, these spices go together. If I'm cooking Mexican or something, I know what spices go together. So I'm still learning, but I get out my measuring spoons and cups, because I get real nervous. And the first time I had to cook for him, it took hours, and I made the biggest mess in the kitchen, because he came in and he was like, oh my gosh, because we were dating at the time, and he's probably like, what have I gotten myself into? But I'm better now. And so, what is the one dish you make best? My parents lived in Italy, and my mom has a Italian spaghetti sauce recipe that she got from one of her Italian friends there, and so I make that with a few less ingredients, because I don't like green peppers, and I don't want them in my sauce. So there's a few things I cut out, but for the most part, I make it almost exactly, somewhat like it. It is so good. Like, my husband's always like, are you making the spaghetti again? I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And I'm really particular. It has to be angel hair pasta. I don't like any other type of noodle. I'll have a lasagna or a penne here and there if it, specific, but if it is with that spaghetti sauce, it has to be angel hair pasta. What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? Now, I don't think it's weird. There's 3 things that I love if I can get my hands on them. I love escargot. And when I went to Scotland, I had to try haggis and black pudding, and I absolutely love it. Anytime I can get my hands on any of those 3, I'm going to eat them. But I'm not going to eat crappy stuff. It's got to be the good stuff. But yeah, Those are my 3 favorite things. Do you get angry quickly? Nah, I don't have time for that. I like to talk things out. I don't like to yell and scream and go nuts. Just talk it out. Are you a bathroom singer? Yes. Aren't we all? It's like when we sound the best. Do you have any allergies? No. Do you have a garden? Yes. Do you prefer hanging out with many friends or a small group? Small group. I like the one-on-ones more than anything. If you could change one bad habit or weakness of yours, what would it be? Well, I did change it, and so I'm very thankful. I started smoking when I was 14, and I smoked on and off for years, and I finally stopped 3.5 years ago, and I don't look back. I love the fact that I don't smoke anymore. And there you have it. That is all about me. I'm sure there's probably more, but this is fun, just kind of putting it out there, but not putting it out there. So just, if you have any questions, comment below. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you got to know a little bit more about me.